You may think that you're scared of showing yourself, of getting yourself out there. But truly, I think the scariest thing for anyone out there is to sit in silence by themselves, to really, really be with yourself and your shadows. Because let's be real, there are so many people who are putting themselves out there. Like, there have been more people putting themselves out there than ever. Those people who are scared to put themselves out there, or who claim so, the truly scary thing for them is actually not the light, but the dark. Because the brighter the light shines on you, the darker your shadow. And that's what everyone's truly scared of. Thanks to our social media age, as we already talked about in our previous video, people literally don't know how to be in silence with themselves. Like, that's the thing that is the most difficult for us these days. And yet, I will let you in on a secret here, because the answers that you're looking for, the things that can change your life and take you to where you want to go, you can actually only find them in the silence and in the shadows. And winter is the season that actually invites us to go within and to reflect, to renew, to really be in silence with ourselves, to look at the shadows, the darkness, the cold that we fear so much. And of course, most importantly, to what is echoing within us. But before we dive in, I would like to once again thank you for clicking on this video and choosing to spend some time out with me today. As always, you'll find chapters and timestamps in the description below. And for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Kay and welcome to Khaydom. This is my personal sanctuary where I invite us all to come together to remember our crowns, reclaim our thrones, and to connect with our higher self. This is a space where we're treating ourselves like the queens and kings that we truly are. So if this resonates with you, then feel free to subscribe and become part of our growing royal community. Welcome to our third video of the Winter Arc Transformation series by yours truly. And well, of course, this is once again another deeper dive into what we already talked about before. And so if you missed the first or the second video, I'll have them linked in the description, so you can find them right away and head over there first, check them out first before you continue here. But if you already saw them, if you already checked them out, or if this topic is just more of an interest to you, or you feel like you need this more, then without further ado, let's get into it together now. Now, as I already mentioned before, winter is a season that invites us to go inwards. Just like nature retreats back to its roots, starting out completely new, starting out from zero, we're also invited to do the same, to pause and to reflect. But of course, stillness isn't always comfortable, as a lot of us may have noticed already, because it will bring up the things that we've been trying to avoid. Even though those little things actually do pop up every now and then in our lives, unconsciously of course, it will come out especially strong in the moments of silence, in the moments of stillness that we get to spend with ourselves, really with ourselves. In a world that basically tells us that we should do more, produce more, be more, stillness can feel like such a foreign and unnatural thing. It's almost like a little act of rebellion, even, to just spend a moment in stillness and in silence by yourself, to actually pause and rest, because no one does that, right? Terrible. How can you not contribute to the society? And the truth is that stillness is not the absence of life. It's actually where life renews itself, just as we get to renew ourselves. Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams, but who looks inside awakes." And winter is basically the season that whispers in all our ears, it's time to wake up. When we slow down and listen to everything that's going on inside of us, we start to hear things that have been buried by the noise. And this is where shadow work begins. Shadow work, as it's called, and as scary as it may sound, is actually only the practice of looking, truly looking, honestly looking at the things that we've hidden away, the parts of us that we dislike, basically, our fears, regrets, and unspoken desires. And of course, it's not about judgment. It's always been about compassion. You're not supposed to get rid of your shadow. You're not supposed to fight it. You're supposed to accept it. You're supposed to see it. Give it space. Think of it as when you walk into a cave, and that is your inner cave where you've hidden away all of those parts, with a lantern and looking around, just seeing. So that's what I've been hiding down here. I remember that one. Carl Jung, the person who coined this expression, shadow work, says that the shadow is a part of ourselves that we actually repress. And until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct or lead our lives for us instead of us. And we will end up calling it fate. That's just how it's supposed to be. Cannot do anything against it. Something like that, right? And you know, the quote really hits home because it is true. We do repeat patterns without even realizing it. And what's worse is that we actually don't realize that we have the power to change it. Because we do. And that quote says pretty much everything about how much power we have to change it. But instead we just let it lead our lives and we call it fate. So like I said, even though the name sounds like shadow work, kind of scary or dangerous or dark, I don't know, what is that? Dark magic? It's actually simply something that is in our human nature. We're supposed to do that. We're supposed to go within. It's like you're sitting with the feeling of guiltiness without trying to like fix it immediately, because it's not about fixing, right? It's forgiving the version of you that didn't know any better, because you did not know any better. It's also giving space to your jealousy, your anger, and your fear without shame. You can feel all those things. Those are all legit feelings. And those feelings, we've already talked about this, they come up for you to see something, to look at something. They're just warning signs. They need to be. They need to exist. So look at them. Look at them. They have a purpose. They are not there to hurt you. They're there to protect you. There are some few practical ways where you could gently start exploring your shadows. And the first one is candlelight reflection. That is when you sit in a dark room with just one single candle lit on and you watch the flame. You just look at the flame and you ask into the room, what part of me feels unseen? And let the answer come to you naturally and softly. And it will come to you, I promise you, if you really sit by yourself in silence, in the darkness. And if you're afraid of the dark, I'm going to tell you that it means you're afraid of your own darkness, because that's pretty much how it was with me. I was definitely very afraid of the dark, and I know now that it's because I didn't like my own shadows and I didn't want to look at them. I was afraid of my own shadow. I was afraid of my own darkness, and that's why I was so afraid of the dark. But if that really throws you off still and you cannot do that yet, then I would suggest mirror work, and that is you intentionally going to the mirror and looking at yourself give yourself that moment of silence and just really look at you, if possible for like 1 full minute, and just breathe. And then after the minute, after that moment of silence that you've given yourself, ask, while still looking at yourself in the mirror, of course, what part of me am I afraid to love? And here the same goes as with the candlelight reflection one. You just wait until the answer comes to you naturally. Really give that time to yourself. Really have that time to yourself. And I promise you the answer will come to you. The third way to gently explore your shadow is to do music meditation. So this is where you play an instrument that you feel like evokes a lot of emotions within you. And then you really sit with it and you look at what kind of emotions rise up. And remember that they are not hurting you. They are not working against you. Your emotions are there to work with you, to protect you. So listen to what your emotions have to say. Now, once we've met our shadows with love, compassion, and care, we will notice something that is, to us, seems probably quite miraculous. And that is that underneath all that heaviness, underneath all that feels scary and dark and whatever has been there before, there is actually a light waiting to be reclaimed. It is basically the alchemy of, well, turning your shadows into light by actually accepting them, looking at them, and giving them space. So as you can see, stillness is not about emptiness at all. It's not empty. It's actually full of answers, full of wisdom, your own wisdom mainly coming through. Wisdom about yourself, which is the highest form of wisdom you can ever gain. And every emotion you meet with compassion transforms into understanding. Every shadow you face becomes a bridge to your truth. Carl Jung also once said this: there is no light without shadow, and no psychic wholeness without imperfections. And that's pretty much exactly what it is, right? Wholeness is not about being perfect. You can be whole on your own, and that has nothing to do with you being perfect or you accepting yourself in a perfect way, or you developing yourself in such a perfect way, or you having self-love and self-compassion in a perfect way. There is no such thing as perfect. It's just about embracing every single shade of you that makes you you. So even if it's not the purest white, which you will never see it come in, or the purest black even, it is gray, it's something in between. Embrace every single part of you, every single shade of you. That's what this is truly about. I mean, this is basically what wintertime teaches us, but at the same time, it's also what the astrological sign of Scorpio teaches us, right? Going within, laying low. That is not really death, but kind of. It's like your ego dies, your old self dies, and you give birth to a new version of you, a new self. Transformation, preparation, and of course the same goes for inner stillness. It's not that you are like slower than other people or falling behind if you do this. You're supposed to simply replenish and gather your energy for what comes next. So you have the energy to really face it. There are also some simple routines where you can keep on, well, the consistency of reclaiming your power and have moments of stillness with yourself. And That is something like a night wind down routine where you simply have a cup of tea and light a candle and simply be with your tea and the candle. So simply be in stillness with just that, the coziness of it all, instead of scrolling on your phone. And then ask yourself, what do I need to release before I reset? Then there's also the ritual of a symbolic shedding, which is where you write down one limiting belief or perhaps regret on paper, and then you burn it if you can safely do so at your home, or you just bury it as a symbolic release, or you could shred it up and, well, throw it away. However that works in your, like, best in your environment, of course. And then of course there's the inner dialogue practice, which is about the, like, you just have to be really aware of yourself, basically. So you have to pay attention to what you say to yourself, what your inner voice says to yourself, which is basically not really your inner voice, but it's kind of like your mind's voice, kind of like that, your ego, what it says to you. So if you catch yourself in self-criticism, pause and then think of the image of your younger self. If you can put that on your phone for these occasions, or maybe as your lock screen on your phone, then I would recommend you to do so, and like just pick that up and then respond in a way that you just basically, like, that someone told your younger self that self-critical thought, and you are the one who responds to that, comforting your younger self as the person who is there for your younger self, because you should be there for yourself first. And yeah, that's basically shadow integration in motion. So once again, for those of you who feel like they need journal prompts to work with this kind of thing, I'll give you 2. I know it's getting less and less. But anyway, so the first one is, if my shadow could speak, what would it tell me? And the second one is, what truth have I been afraid to admit but am ready to face now? And as I said before, stillness is literally not about emptiness. There's no empty space in stillness. It's full of answers, full of wisdom, full of knowledge on yourself, about yourself, full of your intuition, actually. And when you're brave enough to face your shadows, you also uncover your real light. There's also this, again, Carl Jung, of course. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And, well, that, my loves, is what this Winter Arc Transformation series with me is also really about. It's coming home to ourselves. And now I would really like to know, what is one lesson that this year taught you about yourself? If you feel comfortable sharing it in the comments down below, please do so. I think that we could really learn a lot from one another. And, well, I'd really also love to hear your reflections, so share with the community and with me. And of course, once again, if this resonated, then do give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the notification button to stay tuned for the rest of this 6-part transformation series. Also, feel free to share this with your friends, your family, your partner, anyone who you think could benefit from hearing this. And of course, if you would like to support me more, you can buy me a coffee or a matcha. My Ko-fi link is in the description below. And of course, any form of support is deeply felt and appreciated over here. You can also find my social media accounts linked below, so I see you there. Let's keep rising, softening, and crowning ourselves together. I'm sending you so much love. Take care and see you in my next video. Bye. Oh wait, hold up. If you, like I said already, somehow still, even with my intro and everything, missed the first 2 videos of this transformation series, I have the playlist linked right here. So you should definitely go check that out. And if you would like to get deeper into shadow work, have little things explained to you in a more detailed and precise way, then I recommend you check out this video by The Good Siren, who is my sister, by the way. And don't forget to tell her that I sent you if you decide to go check it out. So yeah, make sure to check out one of these. Actually, make sure to check out both of them.